people gather, often in their own time, planning and working with one thing in mind, and that is helping others. The wider community see what they do. They value their efforts and their kindness in their own quiet way, often by giving on fundraising days, by uttering quiet words of thanks, and as they watch those at work, they nod in recognition and validation. The 4 stories in this programme feature 4 communities who not only have been validated by those in their locality, they also have been recipients of the Dulux Lets Colour Project as their way of saying thank you for what you do. So, here are their stories.
As in from today, health and safety is coming into being.
It's early Sunday morning on a cold November day, and I'm at the headquarters of the River Moy Search and Rescue Unit, which is on Key Road, Ballina, in County Mayo. Now, there is a big crowd gathered for the briefing before the men go out on a training exercise on the River Moy. Coordinating the exercise is Search Coordinator with the unit, John Loftus.
I'm with the unit just over 2 years now, and the unit was started approximately 3 years ago as a result of an incident that happened here in Ballina.
And that incident was a tragic one that moved and indeed galvanised a whole community far and wide.
My name is Vincent Lang. I am secretary and trustee, and I've been in the club now for 3 years since its foundation. There was a double drowning tragedy in Ballina, and it took over 2 weeks to find the first victim. There is a local diving unit called Gronia Whale, but because the River Moy is in an estuary and there's very many locals who have boats and kayaking skills, a lot of them people want to get involved using boats or shore walking, and about 2 months after the search is over, those locals came together.
My name is John Higgins. My son David tragically lost his life on the morning of the 13th of March 2011. From then on, a search started that lasted for 2 full weeks before he was found. During that time, there was numerous clubs from, not just from Ballina and from Mayo, from northern counties, from southern counties. There was a lot of people involved in the search. Anyone that has been in our position who have been looking, waiting, hoping, they're gone, but all you want is the remains back. You want to bury them, and you're thinking, for the next whatever length of time I live, am I going to be looking into the river and saying, I wonder where is he, and that's a very it's a very realistic part of this, because sometimes people aren't found.
And that is something that all the people of Ballina in County Mayo wish will never happen to anyone in their town, or indeed their county. So what is the catchment area of the River Moy Search and Rescue? Here's Chairperson Michael Tye.
Well, our primary catchment area would be from the top bridge at the Rich Pool, which is familiar with a lot of fishermen worldwide, to the Moy Estuary, which is on the Inniscrone, basically, if anyone's familiar with that. But we also go outside that catchment area to anywhere within the county, or we've even been on searches further afield when requested to do so.
I'm sure a lot of you have full-time jobs. How do you manage that?
We manage it just through roster systems and communication between ourselves. In the event of us being called out tomorrow, obviously you're not going to be just dropping things straight away. You'd have to ring up the search coordinator. He'll have to find out who can turn up to our designated area, which would be here at the Key School, and from there we take who's available at that time. But there's always somebody available at that time to start on the search.
Do you work 24 hours?
Yes, we'd prefer not to go out on boats at night time for insurance reasons and safety reasons. but we would go out on a search with flashlights and everything else in case somebody was maybe holding on to an obstacle or something. In that case, we would launch a boat to help them if need be. But from daylight would be when we'd start a search until darkness.
Now, the Irish Coast Guard is on call 24 hours a day. And by the time I was finishing my chat with Michael Tighe late on that November night, this happened.
As it happens there now, Caroline, if you can hear that noise, it is actually a search and rescue helicopter in the sky as we speak. If you can just hear in the background now, that's the search and rescue helicopter there now as we speak. That's what a coincidence. The Coast Guard would call in that helicopter. Now that could be for mountain rescue or it could be for anything out in the sea. It's a national rescue helicopter.
So you never know, you might be getting a call.
Please God we won't, but you just never know.
No, you never really know. But being prepared for any eventuality is crucial. And part of that preparation is firstly making sure that people have the right equipment at their disposal. Starting with some very powerful ribs, as explained by Vincent Lang.
Yeah, it's a 70 horsepower Delta rib. It holds 6 people, and it's normally employed to assist the divers. While the divers are underwater, that rib patrols the water above them and holds spare tanks and holds diving equipment such as a communication device. It's contrasted in with the smaller rib we have, which is lighter, smaller and easier to launch in shallower water. So we've 2 boats that are similar, but they do have different characteristics which are employed for different reasons in different scenarios.
70 horsepower, that suffice to go against the tide, is it?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Even on the strongest, highest tide?
Even on the strongest, highest tide, yes.
Hi, my name is Vincent Fury. I'm the Vice Chairman with the River Moy Search and Rescue. I'll be also the head diver. Basic equipment is like any other diver. Our biggest thing would be dry suits, because it's cold, you don't know how many intervals you're going to be in and out of the water. The dry suit just keeps you dry. There's no insulation whatsoever in it. It's undergarments that will keep you warm. Right.
How long would you be in the water for any length of time, say? We
dive, again, I was trained in America, so I work with PSI. The boys always talk about bar here, and I think they're going somewhere. But we work on 1500 PSI. 1500 PSI would be full tank. It would probably keep you in the water, depending on how cold it was, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then you come out, you're probably out again 2 to 3 hours before you'll be able to go back in again. And then every time after that, time becomes shorter because of nitrogen in the system. But it's not so bad because we're not at depth, but still with hypothermia and things like that, it kicks in quicker.
That is one piece of apparatus, my goodness me.
Well, it's a full face mask. It works, there's a knob on the side of it for breathing when you're out of the water and close it when you're in the water. There's a microphone inside in it. This sits on your ear so you can hear. It's a type of a headphone, yeah, volume and all on it. And we have 2 of them, both divers, and we also have one that we drop. It's just like a little ball you drop in the water, and it'll pick up the divers talking, and the boat can also talk back. Well, again, in the environment we're in, you need communication.
I'm actually tapping the face of the mask now. It's a very hard plastic, isn't it?
It is a plastic, and again, it's tempered because you don't want to fog it up. It's no good to you otherwise.
Do you have to spit in it like the way we all do?
Yes. Or I was always told, when you buy a mask, put toothpaste on it. Spit in it again.
Does it work?
Yes.
But you have to do it as soon as you buy it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm too bloody late then. Yeah. The troops have all rallied, and it's time for the coordinator to brief the group just before they go out on the manoeuvres on this Sunday morning.
Okay, lads, listen up. We're launching from the boathouse. We decided not to launch at the Cathedral Beach. The water isn't deep enough. I'll bring the Zodiac and I'll to the boathouse, and you bring the kayak to the boathouse. We'll launch from there, okay? Right? We want to be in the water come 10:30, 20 to 11 the latest.
John, question, do we need life jackets on the shore?
Yeah.
The briefing ends and everyone departs the centre, pulling and dragging and driving all the various equipment that's needed for this chilly Sunday morning's manoeuvres on the River Moy. I catch up with them on the banks of the river just a few minutes later. You're getting your gear all set up there now.
Yeah, just getting everything ready. And I'll just do a final check then when all is ready. So it's just to be prepared.
Right.
Now, the hardest part is carrying it down to the shore with the weight. So it is.
What weight is it approximately?
Oh Lord, there's a lot, and my weight system isn't even in that yet.
I couldn't even lift it.
So it's not. You're talking, I'd say with tank, BCD, and with the weights, maybe 25 kilos on your back.
And I know you're going to be wearing weights as well. Do you know how much weight you'd need today?
I usually wear in the regions of about 14 kilos. So I do. I'll wear a little bit more in here because of the current. So I will. I have some ankle weights now, keep your feet down, and I'll wear an extra weight on a belt. So I'll wear about maybe about 4 or 5 kilos extra.
Nice.
So I will go in here today. Basically what it is it's all about keeping me down so that I'm not taken away with the current. And that when I go out, all I'll be doing really is basically crawling along the bottom of the shore, crawling along on my belly, doing a hand search, and depending on the visibility, most times with this particular river this time of the year, all it will be is basically a hand search. When we dived last week, I suppose if I could see a foot ahead of me,
you'd be lucky.
I was very lucky. And as I came into shore, it did get clearer, but further out into the middle, no, there was no visibility at all.
Are you going to be wearing one of these face masks as well, where you can actually communicate?
Not today. No, I won't be wearing that today. I'll be just going in with my normal face gear, my normal gear.
And how long do you think you're going to be in the water today?
I'll do about maybe a 20-minute search from this buoy down. It's about 50 metres, it's about 40 metres. And what it entails basically is there's a line underwater on two weights. And I'll go out on this line. I'll have a man holding me on shore. He'll be walking down on the shore with me. And I'll go out and it's a way we devise that when we go out. Every metre on the line that's underwater has a clip, a knot. So what we go out then is we swim out, we clip that little V-clip on, and each metre. So what I'll do is I'll swim out, I'll take it off the clip it's on, I'll move it back a metre, and I'll come back in, back out again, a metre back, in, out. It's very repetitive, but what it does is it covers all the areas, so you're not missing much at all. And if the visibility is a little bit better, you could extend it. You could do every second metre, every 2 metres, every 3 metres. But with the visibility being so bad last week, it'll be every metre. It's all about feel and touch. If there's a situation where you can see, you could cover a lot more ground by doing every 2 metres, and it'll just speed the issue up. But it's not about speed either. It's about covering all the ground and just making sure that everything is captured, really, that you're not missing out on nothing.
And who would make that judgment call in regards to whether it was literally a metre versus 2 metres?
It'll be whoever's in the water at the time, the diver in the water. He'll determine, because he's the guy under the water that'll be able to see what's happening, and he'll make that call himself.
Okay. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
So things are getting organised now. There is in total 13 volunteers here, all with different roles to play. There's one jet ski in the water, there's one kayak in the water, there's a rib with 2 people in it. At the minute they're putting out the ropes and attaching them onto the buoys so that the divers can go in and move up and down via the rope and covering an area and searching an area. Is there 2 divers in the water or 1 diver in the water at the moment?
We've 1 diver up here working up this line, and we've another diver up there, if you see the other kayak up there.
Can I just clarify, this guy is doing the drifting, is that right? The guy who's in the water at the moment, up near the bridge, he's doing a drift search?
Yes, a drift search.
And in comparison, the guy right in front of us here, who's actually in the water with a rope attached onto him, that's not a drift search, that's a line search?
Line search.
Right,
correct.
So there's the 2 types of searches, okay. For the radios now, obviously, coordinator on the shore has one.
Yes.
The person in kayak.
Yes, he has
rib.
one. He's one on the rib, one on the kayak, one on the jet ski, and then there was a lad the far side. He has one as well. So everyone has to be in contact with each other, because you need to know where they are at all times. So.
It's only by being out in the water that a diver can evaluate the real strength of the tide, the visibility underneath the water, and the tension of the rope, which matters hugely, especially for those doing a line search.
The actual rope wasn't tight enough, so as you were going out, there was no tension on the rope and it was coming in towards you.
It was too much slack.
So it was too slack, basically. So it was, and maybe because we had such floodwaters over the last week, because last week when we done it, it was fine. And because it was left in the water and with the high floodwaters, maybe the boys might need a little bit more weight. And as you were going out, the actual rope that we used for the search, the parallel with the banks of the river, it wasn't tight enough. So as I was going out, I was pulling it back in. It made it very difficult. But that's just part of what happens out there, and you have to deal with it. And as you're in the water, you work your way around it as such.
And a way of remedying that would have been possibly getting the rib to lift the actual weights and pull them a bit more.
We've got the rib to lift the buoys, the actual buoys underneath, and move it further down from the first one, just so that we could get that tension on the rope. But another thing too, maybe we'll have to look at is maybe a little bit more weight on the bottom of the buoys, on the actual buoys on the bottom. Maybe another. We use concrete weights, so we do. So I think we'll have to look at maybe putting another one on, just making sure, because it's important that rope is tight at all times, because we do this search in a grid pattern. So that's very important. That rope has to have that tension in it. So it does.
You're going to get yourself ready now and
ready.
get all the layers off.
Yeah. It's nice in there today. Actually, it's not as cold as last week. No, I didn't find it nowhere near as cold.
Do you have a thermometer telling you what the temperature in the water is?
I did, and would you believe the visibility was very, very poor again today, and I was more concentrated on the air than the temperature, and it's something I never looked at.
We're just finished up here now. This training session went very well, and we're just going back down for a debrief at the school and just get the ins and outs of pluses and minuses, where we can improve on stuff or whatever, but it went okay.
Are you cold?
Not a bit. When you're out of this game, you come well prepared, as you can say.
So back we all go to the old schoolhouse. In fact, a very warm old schoolhouse, shall I add, and that serves as the headquarters of the River Moy Search and Rescue, for a debrief from Search Coordinator John Loftus.
As I say, another day over, another day of training, and no casualty, no incident, thankfully. That's the way we like to do it, and forward we're going anyway. Is there any feedback there from the floor? There was a bit of a hiccup with the radio.
So where does paint fit into all this, you may well ask? Well, I was with a smaller group of volunteers the previous weekend to witness some of the painting that was happening to the outside facade of the old schoolhouse. I know that the call was put out for a number of members to come along to do the painting job, but unlike last weekend when there was manoeuvres going on and everybody bar three were there, there's only a small handful this week. So, but still, the job is getting done, the paint is going on, and this place is looking definitely fresher all around. Vincent, any idea how much paint has gone into it so far anyway?
Well, just for the outside alone, we're talking 2, 4, 6, 8 12 litre buckets of white, plus another 6 litres for the windowsills and the bottom surround. I think 2 24 litre buckets went in for the ceilings, 3 large buckets for the walls, and then glass for the windows. A phenomenal amount of paint, because a lot of stuff, again, it was so old it needed second coat, and some of them needed third coats.
And if you ran out of any paint, what was the story then?
If there was never a problem with paint, you just went up to the local Dulux store in town and told them what we needed. They gave it to us. No problem, no questions asked. Thank you, Dulux.
Basically, this unit is a charity, and it's funded by the people, for the people. That comes to corporate business, to individuals coming out of Dunn stores or whatever the case may be. So really, I'd just like to say thank you to anybody, any individual, anywhere that have put their few pence into a basket or into a bucket for the River Moy Search and Rescue. Businesses, business people, ordinary working people, anybody at all that has donated money to the River Moy Search and Rescue, I'd just like to say thank you very much.
I'm leaving Mayo behind, and I'm making my way to a family who are being supported by Galway-based children's cancer charity Hand in Hand. And the paint they have received has brought what you could only describe as a wee bit of magic to all involved. What do you think? Have you seen it already?
It's fabulous. Fabulous. She's going to love it. She's going to absolutely love it. I have a 6-year-old daughter called Megan, who is currently diagnosed with an optic glioma tumour, and she has lost the sight in her right eye as a result of which, and currently she has an 18-month programme of chemotherapy to try and stop the growth of the tumour.
And needless to say, sadly, Megan, her sisters, her mum and her dad are not the only Irish family affected by the disease.
At the moment, currently, there are 1,200 patients in St. John's in Crumlin, and St. John's is the paediatric cancer ward. On average, you're getting 4 children diagnosed a week. You're actually told when you go into St. John's to leave your heart outside the door, because nothing will prepare you for that walk. When you go into that ward to see the children up there, it's frightening. It is absolutely frightening. And the amount of children, it literally breaks your heart. It's absolute heartbreak, and you do it yourself. You go through it yourself rather than see them going through it.
I'm Jennifer Carpenter and I'm the Development Officer for Hand in Hand, which is the children's cancer charity for the West of Ireland. We provide practical and emotional support to families who have a child undergoing treatment for cancer. The 4 main practical supports are help with childcare, household cleaning, laundry and family meals. But then we try just a few little extras wherever we can find the time and the resources to just brighten up things, you know, for the child themselves. Hence Megan's room makeover. We've done a couple of them before and they've made a massive difference to the families. It really just makes the child feel that bit more special.
They've been a tremendous help, both practically and emotionally, from phone calls just ringing to see, are you okay? Is there anything we can do? Little things like sending people out to give a hand with housework, or if you're in hospital, they'll have dinners delivered to the rest of the family at home, so that's one less worry off you when you're in the hospital. And laundry, they'll arrange for the local laundrette to do your laundry while you're tied up with the sick child, so that the children at home don't feel that they're being neglected, and little things like that.
But Hand in Hand do much more than providing practical stuff. They make days like this happy, fun and magical. So for this big surprise that's happening, and it is, I'm looking around me here, make sure she's not here. So because she's great for sneaking into a room, isn't she, and having a listen to it.
Very, very clever. She's a great initiative. Megan has for a 6-year-old. Initiative
is one word, is one way of saying it. But for this big surprise, I mean, first of all, what have you been told, and what have been sort of asked to do?
Well, at the moment, I've basically been told to take room measurements, take blind measurements, and the girls have come down from Hand in Hand and they've taken photos. They've asked me what I would be definitely saying no to, which I was telling them would be the cerise pinks and the deep colours. I said I'll go pastel, but not the really hard deep colours, But very little they've told me. I mean, it'll be as much a surprise for me now as well as it will be for Megan, but they get a kind of an idea from Megan. They've come down and they've met her and they get an idea of what she likes and what she's into.
And she's a real girly.
Oh, she is pure girly. She's she likes her dresses and her dancing and her singing. And there she is.
Showing her initiative again.
Yes. If I asked Megan to put that piece of paper in the bin, I'd be waiting an hour. But suddenly now she wants to put everything in the bin, because the bin is in the kitchen where she's not meant to be.
And there she's gone again, right? Yeah. So hopefully within the next few days or weeks we're going to have people move in.
People that are doing this, none of them are getting paid. They're all just giving their time and they're doing it that way. So they have to round up a posse, as she said.
So it's kind of exciting.
It is. It'll be great excitement for her, because she's can't go on sleepovers, so she's saying to me, can people come and stay here if I can't go there? So I've said to her, look, we might paint your room. I said, and then when we get your room painted, I said, maybe then, I said, we'll see, will somebody come and sleep? Yes, and Megan has decided they can all come and sleep here, because I don't have enough to do.
No, ma'am, you're too lazy, aren't you?
I don't have enough to do, so Megan is going to have all her friends sleeping here, apparently.
So let's roll on, hand in hand, coming one of the days and making something quite magical.
Excellent work, everyone. They're off to the cold of winter. Well, that's that until next year.
What's it all about? Do you know?
It's about There's this girl, and and it's Tinkerbell and her friend. They were playing, and then there's a world, and you could go into the other world. They put the other animals in, and then Tinkerbell went in, but then she got sick. But now she's going back in because she has her jacket on.
Was she scared when she was in the other world?
No.
But she wants to go back to her own world, does she?
Mhm.
And who's at home in her own world?
All her friends.
And for those who've never seen Tinkerbell, she's got a special gift, hasn't she? What's she able to do that you can't and I can't?
She can fly.
Because she's a
Fairy.
Are you a fairy?
No.
Would you like to be a fairy?
Yeah.
Why would you like to be a fairy?
Because you can fly and you can go up very high, and you can turn people into frogs.
Oh my goodness me! And is there somebody you'd turn into a frog?
Oh.
You'd turn your sister into a frog? Well, that isn't very, very nice. Your sister probably would turn you back into a frog as well, would she?
No.
Thank goodness for patient sisters. Now it's a few weeks later, and today is the big reveal day. I've made my way down to where the family live, and I've been sneaked inside. I tiptoed up the stairs, and I've just found myself in Megan's newly decorated bedroom. It's a delight, and the posse are looking pretty tired after some mad busyness over the last couple of days. Here's Hand in Hand's Jennifer again.
We started out on Monday morning about 11 o'clock, and it's a 120-mile round trip, so that's taken a bit of a chunk out of the day. Hence we had to come in for a third day and get things finished. But and Sherry's taken such good care of us. We've had tea and food and everything every day. It's been a joy to be here working with them. They're lovely, lovely family. We've ran short of time, so Sherry actually spent last night painting the second bed as well.
So it's hands-on for everyone.
Very hands-on indeed, yeah. The whole family, the whole office, their family, everybody. Yeah, big team effort.
Now I can actually hear movement downstairs. I think we better close this door as well. Yeah.
Do you want to stand that side and let her in?
We'll close the door. Yeah. Okay, good man. Yes. Yeah.
Shall we get her up before we have tea?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
She's probably suffered enough 3 days waiting for this, hasn't she?
She thinks this.
And she's just gone up the stairs. She's been waiting 3 days for this. And going to the door and just about to open it up. Here we go.
All the way in. Okay, go. What do you think? Have you the giggles? You're allowed in, go on. It's your room.
Now.
Yes, it's your room now.
No.
Right this minute, what do you think? Do you love it?
Look, behind you. Is it pink enough, madam?
First time I've seen you stuck for words.
This always happens. Always.
Yeah, oh, she's just
speechless.
I don't know, you're going to let anybody sleep in here with you now, are you?
Do you know which bed is going to be yours?
Which one are you going to
Is
sleep
it going to
in?
be this one or is it going to be that one?
That one.
Oh, it's going to be that one. Okay. Oh. So these girls just after coming home from school?
Literally
Right.
they go to a girls' school, they finish that a little bit earlier than most schools.
You're laughing at me. What class are you in?
First.
You're in first class, and what's your teacher's name, do you know?
Dara.
It's a boy teacher, is it? All right. And is he nice? Yeah? And who's your best friend in school?
It's a girl called, I've two, Carly and Hannah.
So they're your two best friends. And do they live near you as well?
No.
They don't. Oh, that's a pity. So when you're out playing, who do you play with around here?
Normally I play with sometimes my other friend Abby.
Okay. And Abby lives near here, does she?
Yeah.
Rightio. So if you're going out now, what kind of things do you play? Would you be running around or what would you be doing?
we run around.
Cool. We were excited. We were very much excited. So I think just to make something very, very nice for Megan, and not just for Megan, for Lana and for whole family. And so that's why probably we got that nice. We don't want to leave that room ourselves now. No, we will just stay here.
Yeah, we'll move in. Actually, it's just fantastic, and the work that the guys have put in for the last few days, and the ducking and diving. I mean, we were here yesterday evening. Megan came home at 2:30. She was downstairs in the kitchen with her tutor, and the four of them were locked into this room, trying to finish it. And trying to sneaking out, trying to get down the stairs and sneak out of the house without being seen, and she never spotted them, never realised they were in the house.
Wow, that is
And there was 4 here yesterday, because a girl called Shauna was with them yesterday as well, and they snuck out and got away with it. How? I don't know, but they did.
I want stars.
You want stars or Dad?
And the amount of generosity of all the people who have supported this is just unbelievable. Local businesses and people who have given such good quality, fantastic things to make it that bit extra special. And we are hugely grateful to all of them for helping out.
But at the same time, Hand in Hand was the one who approached all those. So without your help and your support and your encouragement and your pushing, it wouldn't have happened anyway.
That's what we're here for. Definitely. If any difference we can make to a family who are enduring like these are, then we'll do whatever we can just to lighten the day a bit. If it's something like this,
even if it's just a phone call and a chat, you know,
a cup of tea and a chat can make a big difference.
You have a knack of ringing.
Whenever I ring Chariots, you won't believe.
She always seems to know when to ring me. She always seems to know when things are on a low.
So Hand in Hand, well done, guys. Will we give them a clap, will we?
Yes, I think so. Well done, Jennifer, Amelia, and Alex, and Shauna.
I'm on the road again, and this time it's midweek, and I'm making my way from Dublin to Dunmanway in West Cork. It's a bit of a distance, but I am blessed with the weather. It's a stunning, stunning day, and there is snow up in the mountains, but not on the roads, and I am blessed with that. So I'm making my way down to men's sheds in Dunmanway, and it's a Tuesday, which is one of the days that they congregate there to do the work that they do, but also they are going to be involved in a wee bit of painting as well today. So let's see how that goes.
Well, the men's shed is a porter cabin and the back of a truck which we got last year, and this year we built a big shed in between the two, galvanised roof, all newly built.
That's John, who is a TS worker with the Dunmanway Men's Shed Project in West Cork. And as you can hear, the surroundings that the men work in are not state-of-the-art, but they do serve a hugely important function. Here's Colm Cronin from the Dunmanway Family Resource Centre.
Obviously, men in the locality, lots of them unemployed, and lots of incidences of mental health issues that are quite obvious to those of us in the community development sector. And also there were some suicides around at a particular point there, maybe back a couple of years ago, and it was quite evident that there was a huge need among men for support and help. And also it was clear to us that men are very slow to engage.
My name is Andrew Barry. I'm from Shannock, Dunmanway, County Cork. I live 6 miles away from Dunmanway. The reason I come into the actual men's shed is, I suppose, just to meet people. I think the rural areas are starting to get very affected by that. For the Celtic Tiger, you used to call to your next door neighbour and used to have all the talk, used to be in your cup of tea. But since the Celtic Tiger come in, you have to nearly phone somebody up. It's gone like the big cities. It's just gone away from what it used to be, what Ireland used to be like.
My name is Charlie Horgan. I'm living locally here in Tonafora.
Tell me, what kind of things were you involved in within the men's sheds? I mean, what did you do?
The building of the men's shed. We have 2 porta cabins and we put a roof over both of them to make an enclosed area for the winter time and to seal it off from the weather, basically. And it's looking well at the moment. We work outdoors and indoors at the same time.
And what do you think people get out, the men in particular, get out of coming to the men's sheds?
It's a way of communicating with one another, and it passes your time. You're not thinking so much if you're at home sitting down doing nothing. You come in here and you can have a chat, you can have a cup of coffee. You don't actually have to get physically involved in the work. People be talking, and a lot of people, when they're at home, they don't say much, but when they come into this atmosphere, it brings out that little bit in them that they can communicate with one another. Maybe not a lot of words, but just an old nod or a smile or something, and people understand one another.
So what are you up to here?
Putting up some shelving.
Yeah.
And you're laughing because you think what? You're thinking it will never happen.
That'll happen, alright.
I just know what'll happen when we put something on.
You don't sound that confident.
I have great confidence in him.
I can see what you're saying, that it needs to be reinforced. Yeah.
We're lucky it's radio, lad. That's all I can say.
Well, my name's Ray Lustman, and I've been coming to the men's shed for a couple of months now. I came here when it was just the 2 buildings and no roof. I've learnt a bit of woodwork, I've learnt a bit of metalwork, I've learnt how to make pizzas and how to use some of the tools that I haven't had before. So that's been quite good for me.
What have you learnt about yourself, Ray?
I've learnt that I can get on with people.
Did you think you couldn't?
Well, you can't get on with everybody, but with this crew here, everybody's well together. People ask me what happens in the men's shed, and I say, well, it depends what you want to get out of it. And as far as I'm concerned, I get out what I need to get out of it. It's good being in company, and it's good with people who've got a positive attitude and are very practical at the same time. It is a men's shed, but it's not a men's shed in terms of being sexist or anything. It's just the way it's set up. I'm sure. I mean, this has been going from Australia and it's spread right through Ireland. And ideally, what we're trying to move to is more of an association of a men's shed, where we share a lot more information and visit each other as well. We went to Carrigaline, and that was good, seeing a men's shed that had been set up for a couple of years with a lot of input. And hopefully when we go to Kenmare and wherever we go, we try and do we visit you, you visit us, and I'd like to see more of that.
Okay, that's as I say, another day over, another day of training. And
can I ask you, what's your name?
Sean Healy. I'm from Bantry. I work for Bantry Correction. I'm only here part-time, getting in my hand.
And so what are you doing at the moment? What's that?
Standing in a piece of wood shelf. Yeah.
And so you're doing it by hand?
Yeah, standing with sandpaper, yeah.
So will it take you a little while to kind of get that really smooth? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, smooth it, yeah. Standing, and we do a bit of painting. We paint all the walls and doors and everything and all things, so yeah.
So you've been working hard?
Yeah.
And then there is the painting. Okay. So, John, you're busy there, and it's a cold day to be sitting out painting.
It's a cold day to be painting, but if we don't get the undercoat on today, everything falls behind. So at the moment, I'm just undercoating a metal sign that we'll use on the road to let people know we're open. And it is cold, but a man's got to do.
What a man's got to do. Do you think it's going to take extra long for it to dry because of the actual temperature?
Well, this is undercoat, so it'll be quite quick, and I'm putting it on very thin. So hopefully it won't take too long, and I'll get another coat on before I go home this afternoon.
Now, the last time I was down, in fact, I didn't see any painting, the place being painted at all. And now I come down today and I can't get over the inside. It looks amazing, so it does.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been painting away. It makes such a difference, makes it so much nice and cleaner, and gives us something that we can all do together. Often the jobs we do here, 1 or 2 people will be doing them, where with the painting, it was something that we were all involved in at the same time, so it actually became fun.
And who decided on the colours? Because they're lovely, actually.
Well, the colours, we were given very short notice on the colours, and so we decided on a blue and all the different colours for the mural. So at the moment now we've painted all the blue we are in there now, and the next painting we do will be to add a little bit of colour, whatever colours there'll be, but to add a little bit of colour to it now. Mainly it's just blue and white at the moment.
And is that glass paint that's you've actually painted the interior with?
It is, yeah. Dulux gloss paint goes on very easily once it's primed.
They'll have you advertising for Dulux one of the days.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
What's your name?
Andres.
Why do you come?
Just place to work, met the new people. I got the new friends. I do a lot of kind of repairing, renovation jobs, kind of on the old furniture, all that stuff. I wouldn't even do the things what I can do here at home. Yeah.
Thanks, Andreas, very much indeed. Now yourself, where are you from and what's your name?
My name is Greg. I'm from South Africa.
Whereabouts in South Africa?
I'm from Port Elizabeth on the south coast.
And you're coming to the men's sheds, and you have your own reasons for coming to the men's sheds.
Been off work now for 4 years, so I'll be sitting at home doing nothing. So pop down here, more of a social interaction going on, which is much better than just sitting doing nothing.
Absolutely. And I think sitting at home, like we talked earlier on, looking at the four walls, it's never good for the heart or for the soul. Sure, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not good for the wife either.
And in regards to, say, okay, so Andreas is from Latvia, you're from South Africa, and still you've had conversations, you were saying, in regards to topics that you probably would never have discussed before.
You really find a lot of same things, same traditions.
So isn't it interesting? Here we are, different races from different continents, and still in all there's similarities.
It's actually a lot of nationalities here. That makes more interesting. They come with different traditions and different
ways of doing things.
Yeah.
It's like we were always, like Andrew said earlier, that we have our view of things, and when we get to a discussion, we actually find out how similar things actually are in different sides of the world.
And that's a surprise, isn't it?
It is. It is a surprise.
And do you think it actually helps to unite people who are different? Do you think it helps that, or did it make any difference?
Oh, yes, it does. It does. Because if you understand where the other person comes from, you actually have a better chance of understanding him, and vice versa. So that takes that conflict out of the way.
My name is Paul, and I've been coming to the men's shed since January last year.
And still in all, you don't have a Dunmanway accent?
No, that's right. I was from Australia originally, and
And have you learned anything about yourself as a human being by coming here at all?
That I find it difficult being in groups and sort of talk, the meetings, and just getting my head around that really.
And still in all, you were there with there was a load of people today, and you were there in the middle of them all.
That's right, yeah. I'm getting used to the idea of it, of having meetings with people and that sort of side of things, I suppose.
In regards to, say, other men who are sitting at home, maybe listening to this radio documentary, and just kind of wondering, thinking, there's nothing out there for me, what am I going to do? I'm bored out of my head, the economy doesn't look much bloody better, and there isn't any work. What would you say to somebody like that?
I'd say come down to the men's shed really, and put some of your skills and whatever you do into that. Like at least you've got something to get up for, and it's positive, and you can treat it like a job. You can get back into that routine.
And tell me something. If somebody comes here and they meet up with you and they're saying, "Do you know what? I don't really have any skills I'd like to learn. I'd love to know as to how to do something. I'd love to know how to make that bench, or I'd love to know how to make that shelf or to hang that shelf." Is there a space here for people to teach somebody how to do those things, or is it everybody for their own?
I think it generally happens anyway. Like if I bring tools in and people want to use them, or I show them how it works, and and it sort of progresses from there.
So it's very kind of informal teaching, but it's going on anyway.
That's right, yeah.
Martin O'Mahony. I'm a native around here, well, towards Skibbereen side really. And I come here well, once or maybe twice a week sometimes, just to meet people and share my views and learn new tricks and do a few jobs around the place.
And what new tricks have you learned? In your words, not mine now.
Oh, roofing the shed.
And was that all something that you hadn't done before?
Well, I'd done some of the roofing alright, but this was new.
And was there somebody kind of guiding you to do that, helping you? Because it's something that it's quite complicated looking, in fairness.
It's a bit complicated, but we all chipped in, there was good men working here. They all knew. They all worked it out. They knew. Good tradesmen. Good tradesmen, really, yeah.
The men painted all the insides of the sheds, and they are, to be honest, looking like a breath of fresh air, in contrast to how I saw them when I first arrived down a few weeks ago. However, paint-wise, what is remaining and has been on hold for some time due to the bad weather conditions is a mural. Now, local mural artist Annie Conroy, she really knows her stuff, but she is worried. She knows the challenges that lie ahead when painting a metal structure with gloss paint in the cold of the winter. But knowing Annie, she has come up with a way around it. So this is your temporary cover. Hello Annie, how are you doing?
Are we on thing now? Hello. This is the beginning of it. This is half of it.
Okay.
So, I should be able to get a small ladder or something in here and be able to work away under here. Is the plan.
Right. Okay, so describe to me what we're actually standing under.
What we're standing under is a 6x8 panel made out of 2x2s, and then I've clad it with polytunnel plastic, just scraps of polytunnel plastic left over from other jobs.
And the reason why we're standing under this is what?
Is because the weather is very unpredictable now, and to get anywhere with the mural we are going to have some kind of protection. I'm hoping this will do the job, but my fear would be the wind getting under it, so we might have to guard against that.
When you think of it, you have a whole load of lads who really know their stuff.
They know what to do. They'll be able to help.
Tell me how big the mural is going to be.
30x8, something like that.
And have they decided on what exactly the mural is going to be?
Lots of little ideas. So far as I can tell, we have something to do with mechanical cogs and pulleys and levers and a small project that it's doing, and some men.
Lots and lots of men.
Yeah.
For the men's shed.
That's it.
No ladies.
No, actually, no ladies.
So blessed art thou amongst men.
Somehow, yes, somehow.
How long do you think it's going to take? Now that you have the cover and you're hoping, I know, fingers crossed, toes crossed, that the cover is going to actually do the job.
I'd say it might take longer than I would have hoped.
Which was, what did you hope for?
Well, the original idea was a smaller mural on a different wall of a different subject. So
it's a bit of an experiment.
The whole thing is an experiment, so yeah.
If it goes badly wrong, a pot of paint will cover it all over anyway.
Exactly. And what is badly wrong, really? Do you know what is badly wrong? It will be colourful. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you're in your element.
Yeah, I am, I'm afraid. In my element, yeah.
The final story in this programme features 3 elements. Firstly, a place called The Hub, a theatre group called Stagecraft, and thirdly, a dynamic arts group called Stag. Now, all 3 are based in Clonmel, County Tipperary, and are very much interconnected. And it was early January when I ventured down on a day that I promise you did not bode well with the weather forecasters. But paint maestro and head of Stag, Maureen Purcell, was hopeful.
We'd 8 last week, but we've actually a few different people today. We should actually have far more here today, but the weather is atrocious, and you're very lucky that we're here even. It is difficult to actually harness them.
And rally the troops.
Very difficult. I mean, I even found that today. The boys, we have quite a lot of boys, and they look, we couldn't go out painting today, and I said, yes, you can. Half an hour. Yeah. Oh no, couldn't.
So let's hear from some of those who are braving the icy winds and indeed the splatters of rain as they paint the outside courtyard area of the hub. What's your name?
Mary. I'm painting black edges around the blocks where there's coloured paint.
So what is the Stag group? What is this painting group?
It's all about just showing people our art, kind of getting it out, because a lot of people are kind of shy in what they're doing. So it kind of showcases it.
What's your name?
Leslie Lynch.
And Leslie, you've been roped into today in some form or shape.
Yes, I'm helping out, just lending another pair of hands.
And is this something that you've done before?
Not this project, but other projects in town, yes.
And if it is the case that you decide, do you know what, I feel like doing something totally different, is it that you can actually do that, or do you have to get permission, or what way does it work?
I think on this project I could do it. On other ones I might not have been allowed, but this one I think I can.
My name is Sive. I am just sort of choosing blocks of colour, and we're going to paint them onto the different parts of the wall just to try and get as much colour in as possible.
And are you part of the theatre group?
Yeah, I used to be part of the group, but I don't have time these days, sadly.
And why is that?
School. Yeah, homework. Everything.
Have you been involved in the painting previously?
Yes, I have. I was here last week.
Well, so actually you've achieved quite a lot then, really, in just the sort of, the 2 weekends.
Yeah, we have actually. It was surprising. I didn't think we'd get as much done, but it seems like if we continue at this pace we'll get it done pretty quickly.
So, when I do look around, the mural is one of giant blocks of colour and shape, and I'm told follows the style of a certain well-known artist.
Piet Mondrian. He was a Dutch painter of the 19th century. Oh, I might be wrong, but anyway, I thought leaving such art I should know. That's too long ago. But anyway, yeah, he was a Dutch painter, and he did a lot of this stuff. But he didn't only do this, he did all sorts. But this is mainly one of the ones that we like anyway. We find it's very easy for the children to do these. And they can do them in any combination. They can do their black lines on every single block, or just one around the edge. So they can go to town, really, and it's going to rain again.
Follow him wherever he may go, and near him I always will be, for nothing can keep me away. He is my
I suppose what's becoming obvious to me is how community energy works in towns, and it appears to be a little different to the way cities operate, insofar that everyone gets involved in one another's projects. No questions asked. Do you know what surprises me now, Maureen? In some ways, everybody here is related or connected to Stag in some way, which is fantastic. And still in all, there isn't one single young person from the theatre group actually helping out in the painting. Was that the case last week as well, or has it been ye the whole time?
Oh, it's been us all the time. We've had the Arts Centre staff, Michael Conroy, who's doing the high up stuff. He couldn't be here today. And we've had Tara, whose mother is working at the Arts Centre, and her brother last week. But no.
Who approached you to do this piece of art?
Who would you think? Shane. Of course. Shane knows me of old. My problem is I can't say no. I got a major problem and I still haven't learned. Yeah, Shane did, and I said fine.
Now, Maureen mentioned the name Shane. Shane Dempsey is who she meant, and he is the project director. But because he's residing out of the country currently, the reins have been firmly handed over to staff director Aisling McCabe. Very, very busy.
Yes, extremely busy time of the year, absolutely. And we've got over 70 students at the moment, so we're trying to work on all of the shows at the same time and doing auditions, and we're just starting, so it's quite a hectic time of the year, but it's really enjoyable and the kids love it.
Do you actually follow the school term? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, we generally follow that because it's easiest for the kids. So we go from September to Christmas, then they have their break, Christmas to Easter their break, and then we do the shows in May just before the real start of the summer exams and the Leaving Cert, so that all of that is out of the way.
Now, what's the role of a staff director?
Well, from September to Christmas, what I generally teach is different techniques and ways to perform drama, so that stuff like mask work and improvisation, so that when they get on stage they have a clear idea of what to do. They're a lot more confident, and basically what I'm doing is building their confidence and letting them see how to act and show them how to act and show them different techniques, so that when the play comes they're doing it naturally. And then from January onwards, we work on the show, and I think that that's the part that they love the most, to be honest with you. And we have a lot more extra rehearsals, and we're in and out here all the time, which they just adore. It's quite hard.
How often would you have rehearsals now, say, come January, as you say, when you really start preparing for May? I mean, how often per week would you meet up?
At the start, it's only for an hour a week per group. But come, let's say, February and March, especially with the seniors, I'm looking at taking all weekends. For Easter, I do up to 8 hours a day. And we generally try and work in big blocks, because we find that with the cast it's a lot easier that way, because one day they can do drama, another day they can be free and they can do schoolwork or whatever else, because we are working in a youth company, so we have to take the other factors into consideration like that.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen.
And where is the actual stage? Oh.
Usually have the stage here, and then they have collapsible seating, which they bring in, and their lighting desk and their sound desk is here. I think the audience is about, I could be wrong on this, I think it's about 65, 70, something like that. So it's a very intimate space, and they can do it in a U shape, or they can do it just in tiered seating. And it's great for the small ones. You know, they generally keep the stage floor level, so that it's not raised and they're not freaked out by people. But it's great to see the small ones. I think the youngest he has is 6, and they go up to about 20, 21. You know.
So what happens backstage? Because that's where when they talk about the hub, that's the real hub of activity.
Yeah, the biggest thing is trying to keep the younger ones quiet. That's the biggest problem, is trying to keep them quiet, and the smaller ones then in and out to the toilet, and I'm going to be sick and I can't find my costume and somebody sat on my sword.
Who makes the costumes?
The children themselves, yeah. Shane is big into as little scenery as possible, as little props as possible, and the children, unless it's something very peculiar that we tend to find for them, but generally the children provide their own costumes. It gives them a sense of ownership to it as well.
You're so hot, teasing me, so you're blue, but I can't take a chance on you like you.
So just at the end, I would just love to say thank you to Stag for doing this absolutely incredible thing for us, and we are so grateful. Myself, my assistant Jack, Shane, and all of the kids in drama are so grateful for turning this place into what it's becoming now, and for really realising our vision. And I think it just looks so beautiful, and it really makes the hub, and I just wanted to thank you so much. It's the Dulux Lets Colour Project, so thank you so much to them and to Stag for this.
This year's Let's Paint project got submissions from 380 projects all over the country. Dulux had the task of picking 160 who would benefit from the paint donations. And let me tell you, that's a significant undertaking. The judging panellists were Olivia Carney, who is the Senior Brand Manager, Tracy Kelly from Touchstone Communications, and Maria Flood, who's the Brand Manager for Dulux Paint. Let's have a very brief listen in to how they decide on who meets the criteria or not.
We have a Dublin Youth Theatre here, and it's actually on Gardner Street. So it's all about getting the kids involved in drama, and it's pretty bland looking, the buildings, the photos. Like, it's not an inspirational environment for the kids. So I reckon that's a runner. Inner City Project, you know.
Yeah, they sound like a creative group. I'm sure they'll use lots of nice bright colours.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, that's the one.
That's good, yeah. We've got one here. Again, it's actually based in Dublin, again, quite close to city centre. It seems to be where local business coming together. They've set up an office, and it is all around helping, people who around the area have...
It's a business initiative.
Yeah, it's very commercial. It's nice, because it's all the businesses coming together, homeless and that, but...
It doesn't meet the criteria, I don't think.
Yeah. Just looking at the T's and C's, I guess. We can't let it go through.
Yeah, there's other more needy projects.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, we won't let that one go through. But yeah, let's see what the next one is.
So the next project we have up here, it's a nice rural project. It's a community centre in Longford. So it caters for social, cultural, educational needs of the community. It's quite big. It's 1,000 people.
And on and on and on they went, trolling through so many worthy projects. This is the third year that Dulux have had their Let's Colour project here in Ireland. And I know that there are so many organisations out there that want to say a massive thank you to them for their paint. So on behalf of those, thank you Dulux for brightening up the lives within our communities and for not counting the costs. I'm Caroline Brennan. Many thanks for listening. This programme has been kindly supported by the Sound and Vision Scheme, which is a funding scheme from the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland.